Caprice Dennis, the fine player from Detroit Pershing, who basically is everybody's pick to be #1 in the preseason. But the point I was going to make is sometimes that does not equate to winning Miss Basketball or Mr. Basketball, as it were, with the boys. And I think it would be real unfortunate if somehow the voters for BCAM did not vote for this girl. Of course, she's got to play the rest of the season. She's got to stay injury-free. And I think obviously it helps that Pershing wins. But this girl's got all the ability, all the talent, all the makings of being a great Miss Basketball.
And maybe you can explain why it seems that Southeastern female basketball players have such a hard time winning that award.
Well, it seems to me, and I think in boys a little bit too, I think last season was a good example. LaDante Henton out of Lansing Eastern was probably the pick to win Mr. Basketball, but Dwan Anderson out of Suttons Bay took home the big trophy. And even if those of you that recall any of the video clips from his winning that award, he was shocked that he won that award. He was real surprised, as were a lot of people. And there's no knock against Dwan Anderson. He didn't vote. It wasn't his votes that cast him into that limelight, so to speak. It was the voters across the state. Now, getting back to Southeast Michigan, there just seems to be more voters, percentage-wise, that are in the Grand Rapids area and even in northern Michigan, and they tend to vote like a block. Let's say for instance, a Dwan Anderson in northern Michigan, I'm sure 80 to 90 or even more percentage of those voters in northern Michigan voted for Dwan Anderson had they seen LaDante Henton played. And that's a problem with a lot of the voters in any year, but especially in Southeast Michigan, there just doesn't seem the voter turnout that you have in places like Grand Rapids.
Do you think finally, as we wrap it up, that there can at least be some sort of video clip montage or something that can be sent to voters, maybe something, or maybe a website they can go to?
I got an answer.
Okay.
State Champs. Go on State Champs and watch the films of this girl. And I'm not just pulling our patting ourselves on the back, but that's a place where you can watch athletes that were not in your area and watch them perform. Granted, it might be just be a 30-second clip, but that's better than nothing. And a lot of times these voters do not see these athletes play and they vote for them anyways. I find that hard to believe, but their vote counts just as much as some coach in a Lansing school or in a Detroit school, which you'd think the weight would be different for them, but that's just the way the voting system works. You just hope they'd be more informed, that's all.
That's it. All right, well, it's a new year, so hopefully we'll have a new approach to how they select the best basketball player in the state, both on the boys and on the girls' side. We'll see you next week again right here on the OT.